there, Taurus. Welcome to a love reading for August 2025. This is Tarot Alchemy by Rain and Moon. Please allow me for the next few videos just to kind of introduce myself to people who may be new to my channel, that I have a main channel for astrology called Rain and Moon Astrology. And this is going to feature love readings. This channel, maybe a weekly tarot reading here and there. We'll see. But, so if you like astrology, you know, check out my main channel. Okay. Okay, so the heart of the matter is the Five of Pentacles. Oops, I put my glasses. Is the Five of Pentacles, and this is a card of lack consciousness. So somebody who has been single for a long time and like, what if I never, you know, find anyone again? Or somebody who has been in an unhappy relationship and says the same thing. What if I leave this relationship and I never find anyone again? And these kinds of like extreme feelings or scenarios that lead to fears kind of motivate people in erroneous areas. You know, they motivate people who are in bad relationships to stay in them, and people who are single to not be very discriminating in the people that you encounter, and, you know, not be selective enough. Of course, there are people that are too selective, but we're talking about not selective enough. And the Five of Pentacles. Pentacles is connected to earth energy, like you, Taurus. So this could be somebody who's a Taurus or a Virgo or a Capricorn that you're dealing with. But in terms of the earth energy, it tends to be very much on the physical level, what I can see with my own two eyes. And so anything that is not visible, the person may doubt that it will happen or whatever, that kind of thing. In the past position, we have the Temperance card, and this is, and there's another, let me explain. I'm looking at the Temperance card. The angel, maybe it's an earth angel, 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land. The spiritual and the material being in balance. The Five of Pentacles can be a card of ignoring the spiritual in favor of the material. When it comes to love, this can be somebody who is working, you know, a lot, maybe working 60 hours a week, and then they're saying, but I don't have a personal life. I really want to, you know, find my life partner. Well, how can you do that if you're so much in that survival mode? So these kinds of things, you have to balance those areas of life. And then when you tell that to people, they say, well, but then I would have to, I wouldn't be able to afford my life as it is. And it's like, okay, well, maybe you have to live within your means. Maybe you have to have a life that is more simple, that doesn't require as much money to maintain, so that you can have, and until you make enough money that you can support that. But maybe there are some things right now that are more important. Maybe you really feel called to be in a relationship. Hopefully you can't hear that. There's some kind of sawing going on outside. The higher message is the Eight of Cups. This, for some of you, you may be on a spiritual quest, and everything that has felt satisfactory emotionally no longer is the case. Maybe if you're stuck in a marriage that feels unsatisfying, you're just there because financially you feel like you couldn't make it on your own, or you're being, because of your partner, you're being afforded the kind of lifestyle that you feel like you couldn't get on your own. But if you feel these longings in your heart, it's probably because it's not just because you're tired of the relationship. It probably is even deeper than that. It's probably that you are feeling called to make a shift. And the Eight of Cups can even be a pilgrimage. So it might be like leaving your local environment and going somewhere far away because you feel called to do so. And that means that if you're the kind of person who feels like you always have to be in a relationship, I really urge you to think about that, because if you are feeling some kind of calling in your heart, you can always have a relationship. It's not like you can't have one later on, but maybe you feel called to do something else. What crosses you is the King of Wands. This is about stepping into your own power, and that's when people are fear-based, which this card represents. They're being manipulated by outer circumstances, and when that happens, it leads to a feeling of not being in control and not being able to make choices for yourself. And I'm not saying that we have total control over our lives. There are other people, there are other destinies that maybe are meant to unfold, but it's like not either or, There are some things that you have control over. This can also relate to a male. He could be older than you, or he could be in a position of authority that you are with, who may not be, or connected to in some way, who may be kind of creating those fears within yourself that make it hard for you to break free. So if you're with somebody who's very controlling, I'm going to read this as a reversed card, the King of Wands reverse. This might be a person who is into power, into control. And the problem is, that's bad enough, but the problem also is that it may be a situation where you feel like you have no choice. If it feels intimidating, whether you're single or coupled, the King of Wands in reverse can be a father. Maybe it was a very controlling father that has influenced you to feel the way that you do about relationships, and maybe be attracted to people that are not really good for you, or something along those lines. So that can affect the quality of the people that you allow into your life. What's coming in is the Seven of Swords. This is about finding a way to break free from someone else without them knowing it. It's like, never let them know you've broken up with them. That's kind of what this card represents. And it can be because you fear retaliation. If this person, I always think when it's a king or a queen, especially in the reverse, it could be a narcissistic personality, and you don't want that person smearing you around town and just making your life unpleasant. So you figure out a way to get out of that situation without that person knowing that you have broken up with them and that you're leaving them. And if you're single, this can simply mean that you are strategizing on your own. for your life in general. Maybe you are surrounded by people who are negative, who tend to shoot you down, and this can affect all areas of life, including your love life, because other people they feel uncomfortable when the people around them are growing, because it reminds them of what they're not doing in their life. So if you feel called to do something and go away, and maybe that's going to help shift your perspective, you might not want to confide in people who tend to be naysayers or who might try to talk you out of it. The outcome is a Wheel of Fortune, which is a great card. This is about being aligned with your life. You know, you see the person falling off the wheel. There are times in life when we are out of sync, it seems like, more times than not. But this card is upright, so it's suggesting that you are, this card is connected to Jupiter. So it's about being at the right place at the right time, meeting the right people. So it might be a good time to meet somebody romantically. As a matter of fact, astrologically, there's going to be a solar eclipse. Actually, there's a black moon on August 22nd at 0 degrees of Virgo, which is your 5th house of love, romance, that kind of thing. But also a month later, on September 21st, there's going to be a solar eclipse in the same house at 29 degrees of Virgo. So this can give you the opportunity to have, you know, since this card is connected to Jupiter, Jupiter expands. So in the area of the 5th house, or your love life, we could say, this is expanding your potential for meeting the right person. Because this is the dating house. This is not the commitment phase yet. And first you have to meet someone, obviously. So that's really a great card. I think it can also be about, since it's connected to Jupiter, can be about travel, and it's right under this card. And you never know. You could go on a spiritual pilgrimage and meet the person that you are meant to be with. And maybe you'll be on the same page spiritually, too. Okay, Taurus, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like an astrology reading, a tarot reading, I have package deals that are discounted because you're buying more than one reading at a time. You can check the link below. I'm at Rain and Moon Astrology. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Okay. Bye. Hi there, Taurus. Welcome to a love reading for August 2025. This is Tarot Alchemy by Rain and Moon. Please allow me for the next few videos just to kind of introduce myself to people who may be new to my channel, that I have a main channel for astrology called Rain and Moon Astrology. And this is going to feature love readings. This channel, maybe a weekly tarot reading here and there. We'll see. But so if you like astrology, you know, check out my main channel.